Maybe you're doing a little extra snuggling right now to try to stay warm, or you're just like sick of your partner because you've been inside with them for so long.
No, well, whatever the problem is, there's one thing that is sure to ruin the moment, maybe your relationship. We're talking about name calling.
I can't even say the name. Who are we talking to? Intimacy expert Dr. Viviana Coles is here to explain why we do it and how it can be damaging. Good morning to you. I know we usually see you in person. You're at home this morning, staying safe. It's good to see you.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, it's, believe it or not, National Name Calling Week. So I am here to tell you all the ways that you should avoid calling your partner names, even in jest, in your personal relationship.
So why shouldn't we do this, and why don't couples extend that same courtesy to their partners?
Well, I'm always talking about this with y'all right there in studio, but with all my clients in my office as well. It is so important to preserve trust and respect. And what does name calling do? Completely erode and break that down. So we want to make sure that we're keeping that foundation strong or getting it stronger, and name calling is just one way to break it all down.
It also, you say, creates that distance, right? And it can lead to resentment?
Emotional distance. You know, I'm always talking about intimacy, and half of the equation is emotional intimacy. When you feel unsafe and you feel like there's resentment, because these words are not just going into the ether, they're hitting your partner, whether you mean it to or not, to whatever degree. So it's so important to try to keep that closeness. And when you're name calling, you may not realize it, but you are pushing them further away.
Yeah, and how does it affect our overall communication when we're name calling?
You're not actually using the words that truly define what it is that you're feeling. So it's a lost cause. I mean, the whole thing just ends up being a waste of breath, literally, if you're not actually saying, this is how you've made me feel. These are how your actions have made me feel. And when that happens, I feel this way. You know, there's lots of ways to have I statements and all of that, but use your words. We're always telling kids that, but I think it's so important for adults as well. Use your words, because sometimes just calling somebody an a-hole or a d-hole or a b or whatever, you think that's going to cover it. It's really not. I mean, if you want to preserve your relationship, stay away from it.
All right, so if you have been a name caller, how can you get back to, you know, that safe relationship with your partner?
Well, two ways. One would be to really, look, reach out to me. How about this? Go onto my social media and Instagram and DM the word emotion, and I will send over a copy of the really prolific and very helpful emotions wheel. You want to start accurately defining what it is that you're feeling. And maybe you're not aware of what those are. We're not just sad and happy. There's so much more to the equation. You're not just angry either. So go ahead and DM me at Dr. Viviana on Instagram. I'll send over that emotions wheel. The other thing that I want you to do is start to tell your partner, hey, I really think we need to avoid name calling. I'm guilty of it. Maybe you've been guilty of it. Let's try to keep each other above board and get it out of our relationship.
Do you feel like sometimes the name calling, especially when you're joking and you know that someone may be playing around, it comes with passive aggression, because sometimes it's like they're joking, but are you really playing for real? Where is this really coming from for real?
You nailed it. And I think maybe in the moment we can laugh it off. But when you're scrolling in bed facing away from each other, you're replaying the day's events, and maybe that conversation sticks. And that's the part that I think a lot of people don't realize, is that we are replaying constantly the conversations that we've had with others to assess our relationships and the dynamics, and to see if we're doing better or if we're moving away from each other. And you don't want a certain name that you thought was just funny to be what ends up defining their feelings towards you.
No way. You want to build each other up and not knock each other down. Thanks, Dr. V.